also known as parallel universes or vertical time zones.
Trutyani pratyayasyaartha kalo maya samudbhavaha. The Kala Tattva, which gives rise to the knowledge of various time zones and parallel universes such as Truti and others, is originated by Ananteshwara from the impure Maya.
Bhagwan Paramashiva mentions that as we experience the various higher states of consciousness, we simultaneously experience the various time zones associated with them. We get transported to the parallel universes and experience the other dimensions of our own existence, of our own personality.
Listen, Subarloka is all about stable bliss, absolute health and stable bliss. Maharloka is all about peak possibilities. Jana Loka is the place where you can exist in multiple bodies at a time. You experience oneness as the super reality. Tapaloka is that last struggle you go through. Sometimes you know you are Paramashiva, sometimes you just slip off, but again you say, I am Paramashiva. That space is the Tapoloka, an absolute surrender. Whether I am remembering, I am manifesting Paramashivatva, or I am deluded, I surrender both to Paramashiva. When you take that decision, you are lifted to Brahmaloka. You move to the Brahmaloka. The deep surrender lifts you to Brahmaloka. Then from there you move to Parandama, Vaikunta, and Kailasa, then Mahakailasa itself.
The key to unlock these parallel universes is hidden in the spine of the human body.
Human beings, only human beings on this planet Earth are empowered, hardwired, capable of migrating to parallel universe. Understand? Your spine is not only hardwired, capable of fuel, charged to lift you off to different parallel universes.
Sukritan manavo bhutva jnani chen mokshamapnuyat chaturashita-laksheshu sharireshu sharirinam namanusyam vina yatra tattvahanantu labhyate. Of the 8.4 million bodily forms, the human body is the most important, for it is this form in which one gets knowledge of the essence. This knowledge of essence cannot be attained in any other form other than human.
The possibility you have need to be told to you. Understand? Even though animals have spine, because the majority of the time they spend horizontally, the spine is not capable of getting fuel with a subtle fuel called ojas. The ojas need to be filled in your spine, and the kundalini need to be ignited for you to reach parallel universe and different vertical time zone spaces.
When our state of consciousness is raised, we start experiencing these higher lokas, allowing the various possibilities and powers available in these universes to start expressing in our own human body.
Recently, scientists have discovered that the human body, particularly in the brain, naturally produces light in the form of biophotons, and that when our state of consciousness is lifted, the brain moves from producing a normal 20 photons of light per centimeter square per second to more than 100,000 photons of light per second. That shows us that as we start to experience higher and higher states of consciousness, we start to produce huge amount of light, which is directly proportional and translatable to the amount of possibilities and powers that start to manifest on this, as well as the freedom from pains and sufferings experienced by beings in lower states of consciousness.
These higher lokas gives you various possibilities, powers. For example, visualize you going to a different country where the electronic gadgets are easily, freely available. So naturally, everything you can gain through the electronic gadgets will be available to you freely. Same way, Kamadhenu, Karpaga Vriksha, Parijata, all these are like different gadgets, possibilities available in different lokas. Please understand, a permanent, irreversible power manifestation from the upper lokas is possible.
Once these possibilities and powers start to express in the human body on the Bhuloka, our present plane, we reach a point of no return, where the cognitive shift which happens in us about who we are and what is the reality hidden behind this perceivable world frees us from the deluded ideas we have about ourselves and the life in the cosmos.
The moment your consciousness is empowered to access and to exist in the parallel universe, no force in this Bhuloka, planet Earth, can torture you, abuse you, suffocate you. It is irreversible, permanent enlightenment, irreversible, permanent empowerment.
In the source scriptures of Hinduism, the Vedas and Agamas, Bhagwan Paramashiva reveals about the importance of being initiated by a guru who is fit of giving initiation for us to raise into the various states of consciousness and experience the higher time zones.
The potency of Anavamala, which veils the innate and essential nature of the soul, is set into the decaying phase by this specific activity. Such specific activity is characteristically called Diksha. The intimate communion between the Blessed One and the Blessing One is very rare and difficult to occur.
The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagat Guru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Nityananda Paramashivam, is the 1008th incarnation of Paramashiva as per Hinduism, living amidst us today. Starting out at a young age and enduring years of intense penance, he persevered with the single-pointed vision of experiencing the ultimate oneness with Paramashiva, known as Paramadvaita. He traversed the length and breadth of India, initiated by his gurus into yoga, tantra, and other Eastern metaphysical sciences. After having many profound spiritual experiences, he finally received the ultimate experience of Paramashivoham, I am Paramashiva, from his guru Arunagiri Yogeshwara, an incarnation of Paramashiva himself in the holy town of Tiruvannamalai in South India.
The brain is the body's most complex organ, containing more than 100 billion neurons, each of them in chemical and with up to 10,000 other neurons. Its sheer capacity to process the various happenings of life is astonishing. The scientific studies on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's brain remarkably shows that the complexity presents no difficulty for the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in managing his brain's activity. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism's capacity to control his brain is very fluid. He can easily shift his brain function and alter his brain waves, allowing the travel into various time zones possible and effortless. The results from the scientific studies conducted on the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism show that the human body and brain is able to choose to alter the body and to travel to other dimensions at will. The possibility for people to experience the healing capabilities as well as the higher states of consciousness is an event of immense benefit for humankind. The rates and progression of many physical diseases, and ultimately the superconscious breakthrough has now been made available and achievable for today's humanity.
The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is a bridge between the visible and the invisible. He is also a bridge between the age-old world of mysticism and the modern world of science and discovery. As brain research continues on a widespread basis, and as we appropriately bring the phenomena of mysticism into the realm of science for further study, we are taking strides on the path of physical and mental health as well as superconsciousness.
I'm going to empower, enlighten each and every one of you with the fuel and energy of the parallel universe. It can make you tireless forever. It can just kill the boredom once and for all in your life. It can just make you manifest third eye power right now. You may experience intense levitation right now. You may experience absolute flexibility of the body and complete detoxification, a complete healing right now. There can be multiple possibilities. I'll infuse this intense supernal effulgence DNA, Tejas, Ojas, Kundalini Shakti into your spine to consciously lift you to Maha Kailasa.
Kailasa, the good God country. Hinduism has something great to offer. Hindu God, Paramashiva, is good. We love him not just because he gives us what we want, but because he is good, and he has so much to offer to the world that makes the best nation. Hindu God has life positive, all-inclusive, good, spiritual, social, political, and moral principles. Hindu principles are guaranteed solutions for all the major problems of humanity: resettlement, violence and lawfare, impoverishment, inequality, environmental footprint, pandemic and biowar, disputes, feminist movement, women's rights, child rights, minority rights, linguistic rights, human rights. Because Hinduism has the best to offer to the world, Kailasa, standing tall since 1994 for the grand narrative of Hinduism, is the good God's country. Founder of Kailasa and his 1008th incarnation, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagwan Nityananda Paramashivam, is the reviver of Kailasa, the enlightened civilization, the greatest Hindu nation. His Divine Holiness was birthed by his predecessors of enlightened masters, great rishis, munis, siddhas, who predicted and recognized His Divine Holiness Bhagwan Nityananda Paramashivam as an Eva, as per the science of incarnation described in Hinduism. From his first Chaturmasya at the age of 3 in the year till the age of 16 in the year 1994, the Supreme Pontiff was trained for the revival of Kailasa. He began reviving Kailasa from the age of 16 after the coronation on the 25th May 1994. Kailasa that we see today is 26 years of sincere hard work of the reviver and Hindu diaspora all over the world. Kailasa has a potential population of 2 billion Hindus worldwide, with over 100 million applications to its citizenship already applied. Hinduism has stood over 10,000 years as an enlightened civilization, has been a global beacon of spiritual and timeless wisdom, technology, and culture.
He's wearing a grey jacket. His name is Boris.
परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्याधिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वदी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि. Nityanandam. I welcome all the participants around the world for this extraordinary Bhikshanadar Bhava Samadhi Darshan during the auspicious occasion of Karthigai celebrations that are happening all around the world in all the Kailasas. Today, the supreme point of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashivam, as the Vijayanara of Paramashiva, who is to reflect and radiate the consciousness of Bhikshanadar, one of the 64 manifestations of Paramashiva. Is one of the 64 manifestations of Paramashiva, and today we are going to experience his compassion, his giving nature, how just by giving more than what he receives, how he simply elevates our frequencies to living enlightenment. Now, the first segment, we're going to see the story of Bhikshanadar, how the Bhikshanadar Murthy liberates all the living beings by his sheer compassion, by receiving the Bhiksha, by receiving and offering his begging bowl what we give is too little compared to what he gives. He gives himself, his very living enlightenment to all of us by his sheer compassion of showing the begging bowl. The form of Bhikshanadar has 4 hands carrying the Damaru, Trishul, and Brahma Kapala, and feeding all the living beings on the other side. So his whole compassion is completely liberating to each and every one of us. Bhagavan Paramashiva, he has come down as Bhikshanadar for all the Tarukavana rishis because they became so egoistic, and just to come go, he takes down the form of when the Tarukavana rishis were trying to fight and resist. He simply conquers them. He does not kill them. He simply conquers them by his sheer compassion. He blesses them as Dakshinamurti with knowledge and living enlightenment. Whatever Dakshinamurti is carrying, the Damaru and the demon of Apasmara, how he liberates us from the delusion of Apasmara. Same way Bhikshanadar liberates all the Tarukavana rishis from their Apasmara. Bhagavan Paramashiva came down as Bhikshanadar just to liberate all of us from this the delusion of ego that we all carry. Just by showing his begging bowl, he is only asking for our incompletions to be dropped in his begging bowl. By us dropping our ego and incompletions in his begging bowl, he is giving the very living enlightenment. Today, all of us are going to be experiencing that seed of living enlightenment by the Nijavatara, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nityananda Paramashiva, who is going to show, who is going to radiate this super consciousness of Bhikshanadar Murthy. And do not miss this opportunity where all of us are going to be experiencing this beautiful space of Bhikshanadar Murthy. And just like how Paramashiva happened as Bhikshanadar Murthy to liberate the Tarukavana rishis, yugas later, he has once again happened as the Nijavatara, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. He is happening right now in this moment, just for all of us to experience this living enlightenment. The seat of knowledge, the art and architecture, and the language, when all 3 things, 3 pillars of Hinduism, when any of these pillars are under attack, that is when the avatar descends. Avatar descends to bring the righteousness once again in the planet Earth. This righteousness is only to restore, revive these pillars of Sanatana Hindu Dharma, to liberate the Tarukavana rishis. Paramashiva happened as Bhikshanadar, and today the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism to revive, to liberate all of us, and to revive the Sanatana Hindu Dharma. He has happened just to transcend all our individual consciousness to super consciousness. And this he is accomplishing through Kailasa, through sovereign state of Kailasa, which is the first nation of all the Hindus through his Sarvanya Pita initiative. This Sarvanya Pita initiative is revival of all the pillars, all the living sciences, applied sciences of Sanatana Hindu Dharma is back to its original glory. And today, what we are going to experience, this Bhava Samadhi Darshan, is one such living science that Sanatana Hindu Dharma offered to the world, which the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is reviving today. Like this, there are more than 10,000 sciences that the Sanatana Hindu Dharma holds, upholds, and which the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is reviving constantly through his efforts through Sarvanya Pita initiative of Sri Kailasa. Be part of this greatest happening a human being out there cannot miss being part of Kailasa, because this is exactly where your life purpose, your highest possibility is made into reality through Sarvanya Pita. Every single human being out there needs Hinduism, because Hinduism has got solutions for all your problems. And the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is actually reviving the Sanatana Hindu Dharma through Sarvanya Pita and making it available to one and all. So if you feel connected, if you really feel, yes, this is something which you would like to do in your life, making your life meaningful, being part of this greatest mission of empowering the whole of the humanity through Sarvanyapita, do not miss this opportunity. Be part of this great mission. So we'll be projecting the links of Sarvanyapita in our frame, and every single person be part of it. This is something phenomenal which you cannot miss. And by being part of it, you are only going to experience the better self. And with that note, we'd like to start today, just like how Paramashiva is offering the gifts of enlightenment to one and all. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, the Paramavatar of Paramashiva, over the last 27 years, has offered so many sciences, so many humanitarian initiatives to the whole world by his sheer compassion. So let's take a look at a short segment on his biography. What are his contributions towards sharing this science of living and enlightenment to one and all? The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism was born in the holy town of Tiruvannamalai, and he was identified as an incarnation very early. Right from the age of 3, he took the Balasanyas, and at this very young age, he was identified as an incarnation by enlightened masters and gurus. It has several coronations, about 21 coronations of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism over the last 21 years, in which special mention to incumbent emperor of Suryavamsa Surangi Sabrajyam, and he is elected as the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism by a congregation of 1,000 plus Hindu seers and pontiffs.
என் பேர் வாடிக்கை வாசல் பேர். நான் கட்டிக்கோல் தெருல 40 வருஷமா இருக்கிறோம். என்னோட தொழில் ஜோதிடம். ஜோதிடன்றது எங்க அப்பா காலத்துல இருந்து நாங்கள் பார்த்துட்டு இருக்கோம். 2 தலைமுறையா நாங்கள் திருவண்ணாமலை கட்டிக்கோல் தெருல இருக்கிறோங்க. அதுவும் இல்லாம நம்ம சுத்தப்பட்ட வணிகர்கள் எல்லாருமே நம்ம இடத்துல பார்ப்பாங்க அந்த காலத்துல. அதே போல அந்த வகையில எங்க தெருவில் வசிக்கக்கூடிய ராஜ்போயிலாருன்னு வண்டி வச்சிருக்காரு. எங்க வீட்டுல இருந்து ஒரு 5 வீடு தண்ணி. அவர் யாருன்னா நித்யானந்தத்தோட அம்மா வழி அப்பா, அதாவது தாத்தா. பேர் பி ராஜ்போயிலார். அவங்க ஃபேமிலிக்கு எல்லாருக்குமே நாங்க தான் ஜாதகம் கடிக்கிறது சொல்றதெல்லாம் செஞ்சுட்டு இருந்தது. அந்த வகையில வரும்போது அதுல தாங்க நமக்கு பழக்கம் ஆனாங்க. அந்த தெரு வழியிலும் எல்லாமே எழுதினாலும் அந்த வகையில வரும்போது எங்க அப்பா கணிச்சாருன்னா அது அவ்வளோ சொல்றக்கூடிய வாக்கு உண்மை மனிதமாகும். அந்த வகையில வரும்போது அவங்க நித்யானந்தத்தோட அம்மா லோகநாயகி அம்மா ஜாதகம் பிறக்கும் போது கணிக்கிறது வந்திருந்தாரு எங்க அப்பா கிட்ட. அது எனக்கு தெரியும். அப்போ நான் சின்ன வயசு அதோட இதெல்லாம் எனக்கு அவ்வளோ இது இல்லை. அந்த வகையில வரும்போது பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஜாதகம்லாம் கணிச்சிட்டு போனாங்க. அதோட இது அதாவது ஒரு வேலை முடிச்சுட்டு வரும்போது அவர் டெய்லி கோயிலுக்கு போறாரு அவங்க தாத்தா ராஜகோயில. அப்போ பாத்தீங்கன்னா நித்யானந்த சுவாமிகள் அவர் கையை போட்டு எல்லா திருவிழாவும் சரி எல்லாத்துலயும் சரி அவர் கூடவே வருவாருங்க. அவர் அதுல அவருக்கு நாட்டம் ஜாஸ்தி. அவர் ஆன்மீகன்றத பாத்தீங்கன்னா அவங்க தாத்தா வழியில வந்த ஜீவனால அவருக்கு அந்த ஒரு இது வந்தது. அதே போல ஜாதகம் கிடைச்சதுல கூட பாத்தீங்கன்னா எங்க அப்பா ஒரு காலத்துல சொன்னது பாத்தீங்கன்னா அவர் சன்னியாசி ராஜ ரிஷியோட அமைப்பு இருக்குது பின்னாடி. அதே போல நீங்க அவர்கிட்ட சொல்லாதீங்க, சொன்னீங்கன்னா சீக்கிரம் ஆயிடுவாரு, இல்லைன்னா காலதாமதம் ஆகும் அவருடைய இது சன்னியாச வாழ்க்கை. அதனால நீங்க எப்படி பண்ணீங்களோ பண்ணிக்கலாம் அப்படின்ற மாதிரி தான் அப்பயே சொல்லியிருந்தாங்க. அதே போல சொன்ன பிரகாரமே பாத்தீங்கன்னா அது அப்ப அவரு வளர்ந்த வர நேரத்துல எங்க அப்பா காலம் போயிட்டாங்க. 2003 தான் காலம் பண்ணாரு. அதுக்கப்புறம் நான் இந்த தொழில் எடுத்து நடத்துறேன்.
ஞானத்திரளாய் நின்ற பெருமான் நல்ல அடியார் மேல் ஊனத்தி இருளை நீக்கும், அதுவும் உண்மை பொருள் போலும். ஏனத்திரளோடு இனமான் கரடி இழியும் இரவின் கண் ஆனை திரள் அணையும் ஜாரல் அண்ணாமலையாரே. திருவண்ணாமலையில பிறந்திருக்கிறதுக்கு ரொம்ப கொடுத்து வச்சுக்கணும்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. எங்கள் இனத்தில் நாங்கள் பெருமைப்படத்தக்க வகையில் எங்கள் கூடவே சுவாமி அவதாரம் பண்ணாரு. நாங்கள் செஞ்ச பெரும் புண்ணியமும் நல்வினை பயனும் நினைக்கிறேன். என் பேர் ராமலிங்கம். நான் பிறந்ததும் இந்த ஊரில் தான் 1945. இது வரைக்கும் இங்கே தான் இருக்கிற, எங்கேயும் போக விருப்பம் இல்லை, போனதில்லை. சுவாமியுடைய பேர் இயற்பெயர் ராஜசேகரன். அப்போவே சுவாமி தெரியும். ஆனால் நித்யானந்தமானவர் பாடு தொடர்பு அதிகம். ஆரம்பத்தில் அவ்வளோ தொடர்பு இல்லை சுவாமிகிட்ட. ஆனால் சுவாமி என்னென்ன பண்ணாருன்றதெல்லாம் பார்த்துக்கிட்டு இருந்தேன் சின்ன வயசுலேருந்தே. நாங்கள் சுவாமி பார்க்குறது திருவிழா டைமில் கார்த்திகை சாமி பார்க்க போகும்போது என்னென்ன வாகனங்கள் வந்ததோ அதெல்லாம் அப்படியே களிமண்ணில் செஞ்சு காமிப்பார், சாமி காமிப்பார். அப்போ இவருக்கு இன்னும் இவ்வளோ அட்டாச்மெண்ட் பார்த்தா தெரியல. அதுக்கப்புறம் தான் இவர் பெரிய லெவலுக்கு போனார், அது தெரியல. ஆனால் இவர் படித்து முடிக்கும்போது ஒரு முறை என்னோட மில்லுக்கு தஞ்சாவூர் சுவாமின்னு ஒருத்தர் வந்தார். அவர்கிட்ட இவருடைய ஜாதகத்தையும் இவங்க அண்ணனோ தம்பியோ ஒரு கணேசன், இவங்க பெரிய ஆதியில் பெரிய பார்ப்பில்ல, அவர் கொண்டு வந்தார். வந்து சாமி என்னுடைய ஜாதகத்தை பாருங்கன்னாரு. அவன் ஜாதகத்தை பார்த்து சாமி சொன்ன பிற்பாடு, இது சித்தப்பா பையனோட ஜாதகம், இதை பார்த்து சொல்லுங்கள் சாமின்னாரு. தஞ்சாவூர் சுவாமி அந்த ஜாதக நோட்டில் கை வச்சுட்டு அதை திறக்கவே இல்லை. இதை ஆண்டி ஜாதகம் பார்க்கக்கூடாதுன்னாரு. எனக்கு மனசு ஒரு மாதிரியாக இருந்தது. என்ன சுவாமி, அந்த தம்பி அங்கே நிற்கிறாரு, நீங்கள் இப்படி சொல்கிறீங்களே அப்படின்னு கேட்டேன். அது எங்கே நின்னா என்ன, அவன் ஆண்டி உலகம் போட போகிற ஆள், இதை பார்க்கக்கூடாது, எங்கேயும் காட்டாதேடா, எடுத்து போய் வைடா அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டாரு. இதுதான் முதல் நிகழ்வு.
The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has formed the sovereign state of Sri Kailasa, which is the first nation of all the Hindus, the ancient, enlightened civilization nation, which is here to offer all the sciences that Sanatana Hindu Dharma has got in a user-friendly way to one and all. And what you're seeing here is the proud moment where the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, the persecution that happened for Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and the persecution of all the Hindus over the centuries is shared by the permanent ambassador of Sri Kailasa in United Nations. And let us look at some of the achievements of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. He holds 3 Guinness World Records: the largest rope yoga formation, the largest pole yoga formation, the largest formation of the symbol Om. He holds about more than 10 Asia Book of Records with 2 special mentions, which is maximum number of books published by a single author and maximum hours of public discourse delivered by an individual. And what you've seen next is
Humanity has reached a level.
Ishanya Project, the humanitarian effort of Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism in globally restoring the reclaim, reuse policy.
We have evolved enough technology to provide food, clothes, shelter, medical care, all the fundamental basic needs for all 8 billion people. One side the homes foreclosure and the homes are just locked without people. The other side, millions are in the platforms homeless. One side, tons of food is getting wasted and getting destroyed to maintain the price. The other side, millions dying without food. Millions of clothes used only once is dumped into ocean because people don't know what to do with it. I have decided Kailasa is going to pick up a project. I call that project as Ishanya, collecting these things which is getting dumped and wasted, which is in turn becoming hazard for the nature, and distributing it to the place and countries, people for whom it's a great boon. In this Chaturmasya alone, we will be able to bring 1 crore people out of poverty.
the proud moment where the persecution of all the Hindus over the millennia and The persecution that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism faced over a decade is brought to the notice of the International Forum in United Nations by the Permanent Ambassador of Sri Kailasa.
Continuación en persona.
Madam Chairperson, esteemed delegates and colleagues, I represent Kailasa Nation led by Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Sri Nityananda Paramashivam, which speaks on behalf of 2 billion Hindus around the world who do not have a voice representing them in these international forums. I want to specifically bring to light the attack on minority Hindu traditions. Hinduism, as people know, is not a single monolithic religion, but it's made up of thousands of unique enlightenment ecosystems which are called sampradayas. In recent times, many Hindu gurus, Hindu minority traditions and temples have come under attack by majority ideologies, and a large number of traditions have virtually disappeared. There has been no recognition of the attacks by international human rights groups, as in these cases it is difficult for outsiders to distinguish the attackers from the attacked. For the past 10 years, the Kailasa Nation and SPH Sri Nityananda Paramashivam have been attacked and silenced in India as a religious minority, as a linguistic minority, and because extremist elements are opposed to Kailasa's stance when it comes to the rights of women, including marginalized Dalit women and the rights of members of the LGBTQ and transgender communities. In 2019, Kailasa approached the OHCHR presenting the case of persecution, and when this document reached the Indian media, a very well-funded defamation campaign was started by news sources which were supportive of the Union government, alleging treason and sedition on part of the Kailasa Nation. A number of false cases were subsequently registered against Kailasa leaders, and one of our university campuses for women in the state of Gujarat was razed to the ground in a matter of days by mobs along with the local government. Kailasa has since submitted a number of reports on the persecution to various forums available within the UN, but not much action has been taken. In June 2021, Kailasa made a submission on the attacks of ASMT women in the session by the UN Committee on Elimination of Discrimination Against Women on the Rights of Indigenous Women, and further submitted reports how to end femicide and on gender justice. Later in September, Kailasa's report on media disinformation in India, which is a big problem, was accepted by the Special Rapporteur for the right to freedom of opinion and expression.
The Paramavatara of Paramashiva, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, has been continuing to contribute over the last 27 years through various humanitarian initiatives. One such huge amount of initiative is the delivering through 108 Sri Kailasa Uniting Nations. Kailasa's Sri Uniting Nations, upholding and reaffirming the noble ideals of freedom, prosperity, harmony for achieving 17 Sustainable Development Goals of United Nations. Through these humanitarian agencies, Sri Kailasa is committed towards a sustainable and equitable world to formulate and propagate peace, security, prosperity, human rights, justice, and religious harmony to one and all. Kailasa's initiatives towards United Nations No Poverty Goal. What you're seeing here is numerous such initiatives that Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has organized and provided to the whole of the humanity over 27 years. Kailasa's initiatives towards UN's Zero Hunger Goal. Over 1 billion free meals are served for the whole of the humanity through, and the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has trained thousands of peacekeepers towards this initiative. Kailasa's initiative towards UN Good Health and Well-Being Goal. Thousands of programs, conferences, training institutes are developed towards maintaining and sustaining good health as per Hinduism. Kailasa's initiatives towards UN's quality education goals. You can see here the Vedic educations that the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has revived over the years. It includes 27 years of consistent hard work in reviving every single transmission-based technology, transmission-based education that the Sanatana Hindu Dharma has always established. Kailasa's initiative towards UN's gender equality and reduced inequalities goal. You can see here, over the last 27 years, Hinduism has empowered LGBTQ communities, empowered the feminine consciousness through several initiatives, including opening women-specific universities, Ankita and Ashraya program, foundation women's-specific foundation literacy institutes and programs. In several ways, all these communities that needed to be established in gender equality, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has always empowered these communities. Kailasa's initiative towards UN's climate change goal, you can see here, a number of green policy has been adopted, practiced, and shared with the world in all the Kailasas around the world. Kailasa's initiative towards UN's economic growth in an advancement goal. You can see here, every single penny that's been spent in all the Kailasas around the world is as per Hindu economic policy as listed out in Vedas and Agamas. Kailasa's initiative towards sustainable cities and responsible consumption goal. That's exactly what we just saw through Isanya project. Kailasa's initiative towards UN's life on land and water goal. So many living beings are empowered into the science of living enlightenment for the first time if you go to any Kailasas around the world. Kailasa's initiative towards UN's strong institution goals. Kailasa has got more than thousands of not-for-profit organizations empowering the humanity around the world through humanitarian projects and initiatives. This comes to the end of all the contributions, several contributions that Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, just like Paramashiva came down to planet Earth as Bhikshanadar, empowering the humanity into the science of living enlightenment. That's exactly what the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism is doing today, empowering the entire community, entire planet Earth into the science of living enlightenment through various humanitarian initiatives. And you have this wonderful opportunity to be part of this great nation of Kailasa, which is empowering the whole of the humanity into the science of living enlightenment by this Sarvanya Pita project. Do not miss to be part of this project. I recommend all the viewers, whoever is watching this show today, you have this wonderful opportunity to be part of Kailasa's Sarvanya Pita. So you can sign up always in the links that we provide. And in the next segment, we're going to see one of the most important contribution of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, where he empowers the humanity, he empowers the human beings to this extraordinary possibility of expressing superconscious powers of Paramashiva. You have this ability to demonstrate superhuman powers, and every single person can do it. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism has made it as a science. The initiated Nityananda yogis are going to be demonstrating the superconscious powers of Paramashiva to one and all.
Whatever I shared till now, condensing the whole thing and reviving it, starting from completing power manifestation, the states of consciousness and the planes, multiple planes, everything. you will become Paramashiva. The Indian mass media cult and cinema industry, whether Bollywood or Dollywood or Bollywood or Sandalwood or all, the whole cinema industry in India, heavily funded by anti-Hindu elements, and they have successfully done the continuous hate speech at least for last 50 years. And the poison they emitted and the brainwashing they have done has gone so deep, even Hindus are feeling ashamed about their existence. When I grew up seeing people wearing the Hindu mask,
Yes. Let's now start the next session of today's webinar, which is the Power Manifestation segment. We, the Balatans of the Nityananda Gurukul, are honored and excited to have all the participants of today's webinar live here today with us. My name is Maniti Yogapranananda, and along with me, I have Maniti Virijananda. So before we jump into the of these extraordinary Shaktis, let us have a small introductions into these extraordinary Shaktis. In the Vedagamas, the source scriptures of Hinduism, Paramashiva reveals in elaborate detail that every human being is hardwired to be able to manifest the 463 plus extraordinary Shaktis. Manifesting these extraordinary powers is described as a system, a method, and a science for human beings to be able to explore the various states of consciousness. Shaktis manifest from the fundamental cognition that you are the divine and that you need to manifest the divine, not from the cognition that you are a man and that you need to reach the divine. So let us now understand what is the difference between Shaktis and Siddhis.
Shakti is expressed from the space of enlightenment. As a side effect, you establish a strong feeling connection with the Guru. And Shaktis are the source of enlightenment. Whereas Siddhis are the powers that manifest from tapas or penance for enlightenment. And Siddhis are on the path of enlightenment. Whereas Shakti is ordinary human being in an extraordinary way just by one initiation from the avatar. And Shaktis are permanent. Whereas Siddhis are not permanent and may divert you from enlightenment itself.
So, how is this whole science of power manifestation authenticated? This science of power manifestation is authenticated through 4 aspects of evidences, also known as pramanas. The first is the Shastra Pramana, which is the scriptural reference from the source scriptures of Hinduism. The next is the Apta Pramana, which is the experiences and results of Aptas, the authorities of Hinduism, who have time-tested and verified this science. The third is the Atma Pramana, which is the experience of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, our beloved Swamiji. And the last is the Pratyaksha Pramana, which is the scientific experimentation done on this science of power manifestation. So who is the source and how have these Shaktis come to place?
Paramashiva is the source of all the Shaktis, who is the primordial, the ultimate reality and cause, which is self-evident in Swayam Prakashing, unchanging beyond time, space, form, and causality. As a fundamental base of Avyakta, the unmanifest existence, and Vyakta, the manifest existence, he performs Panchakritya, 5 cosmic acts of Srishti, their creation, Sthiti, sovereign rulership and maintenance, Samhara, rejuvenation, through Bhava, pulling out of delusion, and Anugraha, liberating grace for all living entities in the multiverse.
So, how does one and all manifest these extraordinary Shaktis? When every ultimate truth, jnana, is mapped into our consciousness, prajna, it starts manifesting as a power and a possibility for every being, prajnana. So let us now watch a small video which beautifully explains about the science of initiation, the science of Diksha, how just with one look, touch or word by the avatar, we can get initiated into manifesting these extraordinary Shaktis.
Diksha is the direct transfer of spiritual energy by an enlightened being through look, word, or touch. The traditional Vedic book Navaratneshwara states, Sarva samapi dikshanam muktihi phalamakhanditam avirodhat bhavantyeva prasangyastu bhuktayah. The main benefit of all initiations is moksha, enlightenment. As a side effect, health, wealth, leadership, and well-being happen. And in Rudrayamala Tantra, Shiva says, Devi Diksha Vihina Siddhihi Nacha Sadgatihi Tasmat Sarva Prayatnena Guruna Dikshito Bhavet. The one who is not initiated does not attain liberation nor a better future. So by all efforts, one should get initiated by Guru. What is the science of initiation? Neuroscience has proved that the process of initiation floods the brain with energy. This is the superconscious energy of Kundalini, our own highest inner potential energy. As the Kundalini flows from the thalamus to the cortex, it sets up a powerful energy loop within the brain, which awakens the latent non-mechanical parts which we have never used before. With increasing levels of coherence, the whole brain comes alive, turning into a superconscious energies that transform our lives, bliss and fulfillment. Initiation creates high awareness, visualization, creativity. It also slows the aging process and improves the immune system. Kundalini awakening, healing experience, levitation, teleportation, materialization. Experience the power of initiation through a range of
Yes. So with this beautiful understanding about the science of Diksha, let us now enter into a very unique and exciting demonstration of the power of third eye. Let us first listen to the Shastra Pramana for the power of third eye, which comes from the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, Sutra 34. Kapalantarmanonyasa Tishtanmilitalochanaha Kramena Manasodardhyat Lakshaye Lakshyamuttamam. The translation goes, by fixing the mind on the inner space within the crown center and sitting stably without any movement, having the eyes closed in succession, by that stability of the mind and inner space through the power of third eye, one directly sees the ultimate goal, Lakshya, and by having the vision beyond the sight that reveals any object or place, attaining the space of oneness with the source, Paramashiva.
After Pramana, the Vedic rishis, Vedic scientists, their experiences on this power. So, this after Pramana for the power of third eye is taken from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter 11, verse 8, where Bhagavan Shri Krishna beautifully says to Arjuna,
Natumam shakyase drashtum anenaiva svachakshrusha divyam dadami te chakshuhu pashyame yogamaishwaram.
The translation goes, but you cannot see my cosmic form with these physical eyes of yours. Therefore, I grant you divine third eye vision, behold my cosmic form. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Shri Krishna initiates Arjuna into the power of third eye they behold Sri Krishna's Vishwarupa Darshan, which is the vision of Sri Krishna's own cosmic form. In the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which contains a detailed description of Bhagavan Sri Krishna's cosmic form, is completely narrated by Arjuna as he sees Sri Krishna through his dialogue.
The next experience of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, in Swamiji's own words, the first experience is that I was able to see everything around me, above me, the 10 directions below me, everything. I realized not only I was able to see, I was able to feel and experience all of that as me.
And the next is the Pratiksha Praman, the scientific experimentation done on this power. So you can see we have a diagram which is being projected, which shows the studies, measures, and compare the metabolic activity of the brain in conscious and meditative states using the photon emission tomography, the PET. So when doing daily activities, high activity is measured in the brain where the third eye is located. And when in deep state of Samadhi, only the third eye region is active and almost 90% of the brain is at peace. So with this beautiful understanding we get from the pramanas of the power of the third eye, let us get into the demonstration.
Yes, so without further delay, let us jump into the demonstration. So manifesting this extraordinary Shakti in the form of blindfold reading. So as all of you can see over here, I have the surgical eye patches. These are tested by the ophthalmologist and completely proven that no light can enter once it is placed on Mavarija's eyes. It will completely stick around her eyes and not allow any light to enter. So these are the eye patches which I'm now going to be placing on Mavarija's eyes.
Yes.
Yes, Margarita, are you comfortable?
I request you to adjust this eye patch.
Yes. Now are you comfortable?
Yes.
Yes. So now Mahavirija is going to be, we have a very interesting challenge for Mahavirija now. Mahavirija is, did you know that there was a record set that a 10-year-old boy was able to identify the countries along with their flags in a span of 2 minutes and 3 seconds. As all of you can see projected on the screen over here, the record for being the fastest to recite the names of all the countries was set by Muhammad Rafi S. And he recited all the names of 195 countries in just 1 minute, 23 seconds and 43 milliseconds. So, Mahavirija, we have an interesting challenge for you today. With the blindfold in a span of 1 minute and 23 seconds, let us see how many flags you will be able to read out with your eyes completely blindfolded. So what Mahavirija is going to be doing today, she is going to be identifying random flags through her third eye in a span of 1 minute and 23 seconds. So I request the flag generator to be projected. Yes. So as all of you can see, this is a random flag generator, and I request the flags to be shuffled around. So random flags will be popping up on the screen, and Mahavirija will be reading them in a span of 1 minute and 23 seconds. And let's see how many flags Mahavirija is able to read through her third eye with her eyes completely blindfolded. Yes, as all of you can see, there are just completely random flags. Now, I request the timer also to be projected onto the screen. Yes. Meanwhile, Mahavirija, are you ready for this challenge? Yes. Yes. So first, connect to Swamiji. by chanting the Mahavakya, which is the Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. The Mahavakya is the direct passcode to be able to connect into the space of oneness with Paramashiva and to be able to allow Paramashiva to manifest through you. So now Mahaviraja is going to chant the Mahavakya and connect to Paramashiva in the space of oneness. Yes.
Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda Paramashivoham.
Yes. So Mahaviraja is ready, and the timer is also projected on the screen for everyone. As all of you can see, it's 1 minute and 23 seconds. Yes. So Mahaviraja, the time is going to start in 3, 2, 1, start.
Saint Bartholomew, United Nations, Romania, Saint Helena, Armenia, Germany, Solomon Islands, South Georgia and South Sandwich Islands, Cayman Islands, Mayotte, Liechtenstein, Liberia, Palestinian territories, Jordan, Haiti, Algeria, Puerto Rico, Libya, Cook Islands, Nepal, Croatia, European Union, Tunisia, North Fork Islands, Belgium, Turkey, France, Jersey, Trinidad and Tobago, Kyrgyzstan, Chad, Monaco, Norway, Albania, Pakistan, Samoa, Greenland, Guyana, Isle of Man, Senegal, Sweden, Togo, Paraguay, Niue, Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Thailand, Congo, Saha, Comoros,
I request it to be told faster.
Tibetan Islands, Tajikistan, Peru, Mongolia, Bulgaria, Martinique, Serbia, Colombia, Guinea-Bissau, Antarctica, Aruba, Vietnam, Niger, Bangladesh.
Yes, Mahaviraja, you can stop.
Marshall.
Yes. So the timer is up. So let's go ahead and start counting. How many flags was Mahaviraja able to read in a 1 minute and 23 seconds? Yes. I request it to be scrolled all the way to the top. Yes. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, 40, 44, 48, 52, 56, 60, 64, 'Yes. So Mahaviraja was able to read 64 flags in a span of 1 minute and 23 seconds with her eyes completely blindfolded. And Mahaviraja, did you, before this session, were you sitting and memorizing any of this? So it is a complete challenge to you, and you got to know about it only after you came on camera, right?
Yes.
Yes. So how do you feel about this, and how were you able to manifest it? So why don't you go ahead and share? Meanwhile, I request all of the participants who are viewing, if any of you want a remote vision, please go ahead and put your request in the YouTube chat section or the Zoom chat below, and we will be also doing manifesting the power of remote vision towards the end of this session. So I request all of the participants, please go ahead and post your comments. Yes, Mahaviraja, you can go ahead and start sharing.
I just connected to Swamiji and I remembered myself, I am Swamiji, and I know for a fact that I'm Swamiji, everything can happen the way he wants it. That's all.
And you were able to just manifest. Yes, very beautiful. And as all of you can see, without any memorization, without any planning, Ma Virija so beautifully was able to read 64 flags in a span of 1 minute and 23 seconds through her third eye. Just by connecting to Swamiji and falling into the space of oneness, Swamiji was able to flow through her and manifest this beautiful Shakti. So now we'll be moving on to the power of remote vision. And I request the pramanas to be projected. Let us first listen to the Shastra Pramana for the power of remote vision, which comes from the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra. Yes. So the Shastra Pramana comes from the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, Sutra 92. व्योमाकारं स्वमात्मानं ध्यायेद्दिग्भिरनावृतं निराश्रयाचितिः शक्तिः स्वरूपं दर्शयेत् तदा. The translation goes, Bhagavan Paramashiva says, concentrate and cognize with restful awareness on oneself in the form of a vast etheric space or sky, Vyomakaram, which is limitless in any direction whatsoever. Thus, the Chitish Shakti, the power of consciousness, freed from all support, reveals and manifests herself as the form of one's essential nature of the self. The next is the Apta Pramana for the power of remote vision, which goes back to the time of the Mahabharata war. In the Hindu Purana, the Mahabharata, the whole war, the sacred scripture of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, is narrated to the blind king Dhritarashtra by his trusted charioteer Sanjaya. Sanjaya is initiated into the power of Duradrishti, remote vision, and Durashruti, remote hearing, by sage Vedavyasa, and narration that the humanity has received the sacred scripture, the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. The next is the Atma Pramana, which is the point of Hinduism. Narayana Swami Tata was one of Hinduism and was well known in Tiruvannamalai distances at ease. One day, a senior police officer came to Narayana Swami Tata seeking help to find a thief whom they were searching for the last 1 week. Narayana Swami Tata simply turned towards the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism and asked him to scan the whereabouts of the thief in a mirror with the black face, the Jnananjana of light. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism not only was able to scan and reveal the whereabouts of the thief, he was even able to show the same to the police officer, after which the thief was caught red-handed in the same place and location as revealed by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. And with this beautiful understanding from the Pramanas, let us now enter into the power of remote vision. I request all of the participants who are viewing, if any of you would like a remote vision, please go ahead and post your request in the YouTube chat section or the Zoom chat section below, and we will be manifesting the power of remote vision. Yes. Meanwhile, Margarita, why don't you go ahead and start reading out the live comments in YouTube?
The latest comment, which has been posted by Kailasa Nityananda, yes, please, for the remote viewing power. And Ma Sarinka Vidyakaran, Ma Nityananda, please, can I have a remote viewing? And smiling.
That's beautiful. So, Kalabhairava Hamsa Nityananda. Yes, we'll be doing the the remote vision for you now. I'll be starting this power by chanting the Mahavakya Om Nityananda Paramashivoham, which is the direct passcode to connect to Paramashiva. Meanwhile, Margarita, you can go ahead and continue reading out the live comments which is projected on the screen.
Margaret Lasidi has posted Nityananda for a program. I request the comment section to be scrolled up. And Kailasa Hamsa Nityananda has posted, thank you for the powers.
Yes. So first I'll start describing the kitchen area. So I request the kitchen section to be projected. Yes. So here you can see all of the options in front of you. Paramashiva is showing that so Paramashiva is showing that your kitchen is more like a pure elegant kitchen, as you can see, which is projected over here. Except it's a little more smaller and close. And the color of your kitchen, I'm able to see it's like a peachish yellowish shade. I request that over here. I request this section to be clicked on. Yes. So it's more of this kind of color, sundress CSP 940 the shade, the wall of your kitchen is more of that kind of color, and the outline I'm able to see is a very bright. I request the white, the shades of white to be shown, to be projected. Yes. So yes. So the outline, the outline of your the doors and the whole kitchen is of this shade, and I'm able to see your kitchen counter is like a very light shade of gray marble, like this one. Yes. So the kitchen counter is more is more of this shade of marble slab, and the cabinets color I'm able to see it's the cabinets is a light shade of caramel brown, or somewhere over here. Yeah, maybe a little lighter than this, Yes. So I'm able, and in this kitchen, there is no cabinets against the wall, but I'm able to see your kitchen. There is like cabinets and cupboards against the wall also, and all of them is like Peruvian chili color, and I'm able to see towards the bottom, the border color is of a little more darker gray, which maybe we can see over here, like a darker shade of gray. That's just the border. Yes, maybe something like this. That is the border of like the bottom, the border of the wall. And I'm able to see that there is one small in front of the oven or the stove. I'm able to see there is actually a small mat which has red border, and it's like a yellow which you can stand on, and it's your kitchen is this kind of shape, except a little smaller. And where here this side where we can see there's like a place for people to sit, I'm able to see it's more closed in, and there's a cupboard against the wall over there. So it's not a place for people to sit, but it's like kind of like this shape, yeah. And the fridge is not against the wall. You have a separate fridge which is towards the left side corner, in the like towards the middle of the wall, left side. I'm able to see your fridge is there. It's a two-door fridge, but it's not against. It's not into the wall. It is a separate fridge which is just placed against the wall. So this is what I was able to see about your kitchen, Aya. I request you to start posting your feedback in the comment section below. Yes, and the second place I'll be scanning of your house is your bedroom. So I request the bedrooms to be projected. Kalabhairava Hamsa Nityananda, I request you to post your feedback in the chat section below for the scanning. Meanwhile, I request the bedroom. Yes. Yes, I'm able to see your bedroom is more of a fresh organic bedroom, which is projected over here. Okay. And I'm able to see your bedroom is designed like this, except it's a little bit bigger, and the wall color is I'm able to see the wall color is white, completely white. Yes, this color. Okay, so the bedroom wall color is Sophia color. Then I'm able to see the whole bedroom is one shade only. Then the ceiling also it's a little darker than this, and the borders. I request the cream colors to be shown for the ceiling. Yes, here maybe a little darker in the brown. I request if we can go back there. Yeah. So I'm able to see the ceiling color is something like this, except maybe a little brighter. Yes, just a little brighter, but the same color. And the border, the ceiling borders, I'm able to see is completely like pure white. And this in this room which is projected, the ceiling is slanted, but I'm able to see a ceiling is complete. It's flat in the bedroom, and the balcony is not completely glass. I'm able to see it's just a normal room with wall on all sides and a door. And the master bedroom has a bathroom also, and it's a little more bigger than this. Even the bed is a little wider. Color of the bed sheet is. I'm able to see right now it has different designs. So it's a light, not yellow shade, maybe a light brown kind of shade, and the stripes. I'm able to see the bedsheet also has the bedsheet color has stripes, stripe design with other flower design and patterns. I'm able to see. So those stripe colors are of a dark chocolate brown. And next to your bed, I'm able to see there's a small table. The table is actually a little, it's in a shape of an octagon, except, yeah, it's in a shape of an octagon, except it's like more straight. It has a glass top, and I'm able to see a small, not a vase with flowers, but I'm able to see a small pot kind of thing on top of the table. And other than that, it has in the drawers. I'm able to see the drawer color is a dark brown, not chocolate, little darker than that. And I'm able to see papers and books inside. So I request if you could give your feedback for both of these areas which Paramashiva revealed today as we are watching the live chat. Yes, Mavarita, you can start reading out the comments.
Yes, so Kailasa Hamsa Nityananda has posted yes, and he has posted green, and again he posted yes. He was agreeing to what my Yogaprana was scanning. And also Kailasa Hamsa Nityananda has posted brown bed frame. Yes. Yellow bed sheet.
Yes. Thank you so much, Aya, for your feedback. And we thank all of the viewers who are watching this session live right now. As all of you can see, this is the extraordinary demonstration, a few of the powers of Paramashiva, which all of you will also be able to manifest just with the initiation by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. So now I'm going to be removing the eye patch from Avirija. Yes. That was a beautiful demonstration, Mavarija, of this extraordinary Shakti of the power of third eye. And with this, we would like to thank all of the viewers. Please stay tuned for the upcoming sessions, followed by the Bhava Samadhi Darshan of Bhikshanadar, manifesting in the Nijavatara of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nityananda Parameshwar. Thank you, Nityanandam.
Whatever I shared till now, condensing the whole thing and reviving it as experience, starting from completion, unclutching, power manifestation, the states of consciousness, and the planes, multiple planes, everything. You will become Paramashiva. the Indian mass media cult and cinema industry